Psychic medium Donna Seraphina is an amazing medium. She has worked on several different cases and always been extremely accurate. She was able to see the deaths of JJ and Ty Lee 4.5 months before they were found by the FBI. And in this case, she has channeled Gabby Petito. She tried to reach out to a family member or friend, so did I. Neither of us were successful. So she went ahead and did this meditation reading.
It feels like once Gabby started feeling insecure, then that made Brian try to get more power over her, or, emotional power, in the relationship. Yeah, and I got some spirit energy on that. So he wants this emotional power, and she's seeing that, she's feeling a little uncomfortable around him, really, but she's kind of in that situation. So she's pulling away from him a little bit, and he senses that. And so he grabbed her. I think it feels like he grabbed her while they're driving. And now I'm seeing that video or where he went up on the curb or whatever. It's kind of a feeling, well, we all know of her taking responsibility for everything, right? Let's see. But it went from one situation to another. So now it's back to this other situation. So, he's driving the van on a dirt road. So this is later. This isn't the time when they got pulled over. He's driving the van on the dirt road. And to me, it seems like he senses that she's kind of withdrawing a little bit. And then at one point, he grabs her arm and maybe gets a little of her hair. Like, he's not trying to grab her hair, but he grabs her arm and some of her hair is like there, gets pulled. And then she's like, her feelings are hurt. She feels victimized, and they're not even out of the van yet. It feels like she can't do anything right when he starts acting this way. When he gets into one of these moods. It's really weird because it's almost like, it's so strange. It makes, I want to know this, but it feels like, it's almost like this fake little cooking thing, where you could cook something, but it's like super thick aluminum foil or whatever. I don't know. But it just feels like he's like, no matter what she does, he's like insulting it. I think he might hit her in the head. I'll wait and see a few more times. I saw twice, just when I was meditating earlier. I just saw it twice. Felt like he hit her with a rock in the head. But he might have hit her with his fist or arm or something like that in the head or something like that. Does feel like he hits her in the head. Not in the face, but it's like the side of the head or something. But I mean, it feels like they're right outside the back door of their van. Like, you'd think someone could just see them. I mean, it's not like there's people everywhere, but someone could be driving by. It's not that great of a place to get in a fight, Okay, so right now, I'm by the river. And you could call it a creek or a river. I can't get into these bodies of water, technicalities and stuff. But whatever. They're just down by the river there. See, the problem is, instead of just giving her some time to be okay, the more she withdraws, the more aggressive he gets. It's like he pushes her into the water and holds her head under. And there's the rock again. I think he hit her in the head with a big rock. A big rock. And it has sharp edges on it, too. And they might be just inside the creek. Like, where there's water. But it's like, because he feels like she might not want to go out with him anymore. And she feels that way inside, but like, I don't know, he's too mature. He doesn't get it if he just backed off, and just, they start acting normal again. But the more, see, I get big chills on my legs right now when I said that, if he had just backed off. But while she's hurting and wounded, he's just going for like, what are you doing? Are you gonna leave me or whatever like that? And I got big chills on my legs. So she's just like, well, I don't think she feels like she's afraid of him murdering her right there, but just more like she wants distance, or she wants him to just stop energetically going on her. Like, you know what I mean? This is before it gets super physical. They might have gotten a little bit of a tussle outside the van, which I saw. But down here by this water, and I'm seeing her in the water, so she'll just be right like at the edge of the creek or whatever. So that should be findable then. See, the river where I see that happening is, there's grass down there. Like there's an open area. And I just let it go blank so they can show me. I wish I could just stand in the middle and stab him in the stomach. So he can't hurt her. I feel like he hits her in the head with a pretty sharp rock, pretty big sharp rock. And he's like choking her too, like in the water. Like once he does that, he just kind of goes animalistic or whatever. He's choking her. He's just lost his temper totally completely. Just at the thought of her standing up to him and saying like, I'm not your property, Brian. You can't treat me like that. But she's not forceful. More like she just wants him to stop. This is before he attacks her. So he's dragging her out of the water. But she will be by the river. She will be. He's dragging her. There's some trees there. He just puts her up behind a tree. That's all I'm seeing him doing. Just covering her, just putting her behind a tree and like covering her with some leaves and stuff like that. But I don't think there's a path there. I'm seeing him choking her in the van, so I don't know if it's like, I think a fight did start I feel like, and I got some slight waves of spirit energy. I feel like the fight started in the van. And then he does say he's going to go hike by himself. And then she's like, no, oh, Brian, wait for me. I'll go with you. She's afraid. She doesn't want to be left alone. But he's on another level of not his normal self. Like another level of being very violent feeling inside of him. And yeah, so I just got chills on my legs about that. So he has this very violent, now he's channeling in a sense. Channeling his morbid side. I got big chills on both legs. So Brian is living his fantasy, or yeah, I still got chills. So he's channeling the devil, really, right? He's channeling, the books he reads, the art he does. He's channeling this into himself, like not intentionally, but he's kind of become this now. And it feels like she's chasing after him, saying, you know, no, Brian, don't leave me here, don't go, you know, stuff like that. And he kind of is just saying, like, leave me alone, pushes her away. But she's like, please, Brian, and stuff like that. So she's crying. There's a point where he just hits her really hard in the face or the head. Like, really hard. I almost feel like if you looked at where their van was parked and then you made this triangle, right? Like, from there to the river, or wherever the river is. Maybe the river's way down below. There's like a triangle anyway. Anyway, so they're like walking that way. Or not together. I mean, it's this fight. They're in a fight. But it's more like, I just explained it. Let me just let this clear and see what else. He's really something. Like, I feel at one point, she might have purchased something that came in a large plastic bag, and he put it over her face and was saying, in the van. So I'm seeing them in the van now again. I don't like plastic. And she's just like, Brian, you know. And it's just, so she's trying to pull away, and he's putting this plastic over her face. But then he takes it off. She doesn't pass out. But the more he does these, he's really doing really stuff that she's wanting him to act normal, but he's now, it's almost like too late. It's almost like something's come over him. You know, he's invited it. By the way, he's always like, a lot of stuff. There's a fine line. I don't know if there's a fine line, but the stuff he likes isn't just even true crime or psychology, or he likes the ones that are kind of from the perpetrator's angle. Like what it's like to be the person who kills or whatever. So that's a fantasy he's had for a long time. I don't got a lot of spirit energy on that, so let me let it clear and see what happens. Her nose is bleeding when he attacks, or when he does what he does. He is not thinking at all when he does that. That's some rising spirit energy. He's just not using his senses. He's not using his common sense. And I got it. Chills on one leg. God, I just keep seeing him slam her in the head with a big rock. It's a jagged rock, too. So it's like, it's going to do more damage than a smooth. It's not like he chose that. He just like all of a sudden. Well, she's kind of, I wouldn't say she's bitching at him, but it's more like she has an insecurity inside of her, it feels like. Kind of like or maybe it's just because they're so far away from home and she's all alone and her parents have nowhere to go and she's with this guy, so she wants him to act normal. Yeah, there I go. Got a little chill on my leg about that. So that's what it is. And so her way of doing that is trying to plead with him. I really feel like he lives out the stuff that he's been playing with in his mind, you know, that he's always, then the spirit energy goes down, but it's a feeling I have. He really wants her to shut up, so he makes her shut up, you know, that's the bottom line. But he has been getting progressively weirder. I don't think it really dawns on him what he's just done until he's covered her. It's like he covered her with leaves or something. It doesn't feel like she's that well hidden, other than it's like a huge forest and, but it's not like she's in a 4-foot grave or anything like that. It just feels like he dragged her up into kind of a cluster of trees, and then, which is obvious because then anyone listening to this would go, well, yeah, duh. But, it feels like she's like kind of just below the base of a tree. Like, okay, this is how I see it. I see large open field and a kind of the river. And it could be the Snake River, the way if it snakes, or it could be, if any river does that, then it could be that. It could be the Clear Creek, it could be anything. But, okay, so if you're at the river and there's large open area where the grass is, and then at the far along the river, if you're looking at the river, across that large open area, and you see like a cluster of trees, all you have to do is go not that far from the first few trees, and he just kind of, I think he just like moves away some dirt, so it would be shallow grave to a non-grave, really. Like, say with your hands, you just go, psh, 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 and what's that? Not more than 6 inches. Then just she's there, and then he's like covers her in this mound or whatever, and it's when he sees her face, and it really sinks in that he just killed her. For some reason, I had a total drop in spirit energy, so I don't know if something's really wrong about that, or if it's just the dark side of things. I'm not sure, so I'm just going to let that clear and see what else I get. Oh my God, so I see him stomp on her face. So they just showed me him stomp on her face, so it's actually, he's still angry after he killed her. That's weird. But that's what Barry Morphew was like, too. So glad they'll take dogs to where that van is. They'll take dogs there and go from there. The dogs will be able to smell where they went. The dogs will find her body. I don't think she was alive to the 29th. I think even when he sent the Snapchat, it was him. Yeah, I got spirit energy about that. So he had killed her there. Wherever he was at that point, that's where her body would be, around there somewhere. He feels like he could have hit her with a brick. He could have hit her with anything. It's like a tight, clear bag over her head. Or over her face anyways. He smashes her pretty hard. While he does that, he does them both. He does both things. So, okay, so we know she's dead. And, right, her out of her physical body. Alright, is Gabby present? But I also do feel like, okay, I'm seeing the river with the grasses again. And river, creek, stream, I don't care what you call it. Just a running, flowing water. I see the dogs going crazy. I hope they find her. Yeah, for me, this isn't like, hey, let me put this up, get a bunch of hits, blah, 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 blah. It's just like, if I do it, I want to do it right. And this is not, I don't know, I think a lot of people on YouTube throw stuff up, they don't care because they know they're just going to get a million hits on it, and then do Google Analytics or whatever, and I don't want to do that. I want to do it exactly right. I'm asking for Gabby. He wanted her to shut up. That's what it is. He made her shut up. That's the bottom line. So here I'm going to do, I'm going to do a little pendulum. Is Gabby in her physical body? Of course, we already know she's not. So that's no. 28th. He murdered her on the 28th. Okay, so the pendulum, which is to me a 50-50. I mean, really, it's always been accurate, but, it could be wrong. So he murdered her on the 28th. Yeah, and it's a big guess. So, wherever their car was on the 28th. Did he dispose of her in a very shallow grave? Definite yes. Is it within 100 feet of water body, like a river? That's a yes. Is it up by the Clear Creek area? Kind of. It's like an oval yes, which means it's not right there, but it's in that area. It's still saying yes, so. Are the dogs going to find her? No. How weird, huh? I think they'd find her. Is where they were parked by Clear Creek, is her body, was that the last place she was parked? Was she murdered in that area in the van? At Clear Creek? Is Gabby's body near the Snake River? No. Is it up on one of the hikes past Jenny Lake? No. Is it by the Clear Creek River? Yeah. They're searching in the right place, I think.